Alright, so I just took some US30 buy position here, sent it out inside the signal room, which I'm going to give you guys the analysis very quick, explaining to you guys why I end up taking these buy position with US30. But our entry that we end up taking, we're at 42,400. And then our second entry that we have placed our limit, which is going to be set at the 42,350. So pretty much we are looking for buy position. I have my stop loss placed underneath these exact lows over here. So most likely, obviously, if price action end up taking us out of stop loss and we do close underneath these zones over here, which mean that our buy obviously is invalidated. So I'm no longer going to be interested in looking for buy position if we do end up breaking underneath these lows. So that's exactly where I do have my stop loss placed. I do have an entry at 42,400. Again, we have another buy limit set at the 42,350. Over here, this is most likely where I would like to secure majority of my profits due to the fact that we're still trading underneath one of these 4-hour structures, right, which is previous areas of support, which yesterday we did end up seeing price action use it as an area of resistance, which we end up taking some sells as well. Yesterday, we were able to capitalize off these sales position over here. So most likely, if we do have the initial push towards the upside, this is where I would likely secure majority of my profits, but the overall take profit is definitely going to be above these highs over here, which was last week high. So I'm definitely looking for at least a good play of a 1 to 3 risk to reward, somewhere between the 500 points with US30. So we're looking for, a very long push. Hopefully we do see the push that we're looking for. Everything honestly looks very, very clean. Just gonna give you guys the analysis, give you guys the breakdown why I end up taking these buys. As of right now, I'm currently up $135. We're actually about to hit our first take profits, which is for 50 points. So price action is very, very close. We should most likely hit it in this video. Well, there we go. We hit first take profit, $160 in profit. So we're going to call this out, TP1 smash. We're going to call this out very quick. $50 points. Perfect. So good start already to the morning. We're having the push that we won. Very, very nice. All right, so let's leave this running for now. So let me give you guys the analysis very quick. We're going to go from a higher time frame perspective, which is pretty much what we got. So let me take a very quick shot of coffee here. Just woke up this morning, was craving a colada, which is a very strong coffee. Cuban coffees is what I woke up. Went to the gas station very quick, got the coffee. We came back home, we marked up, and we are ready to make some money. So this was very quick. So looking at US30 from a higher time frame perspective, right, which I'm going to give you guys the analysis from this trade that we took yesterday plus the trade that we're currently in as of right now. So what I want you guys to pretty much focus is the market structure shift, right? This the most important part whenever we're looking for type of setups, which is the idea why we're looking for, or which is the idea where we catch our buys, right? So if we take a look here at US30 from pretty much this entire bullish valley towards the upside, right? I want you guys to focus on these key levels over here, which is also the daily low from yesterday, which is also the previous weekly lows, right? Which is going to be set at the 41. I would like to say the 4200, which is a very strong area of support, right? So if we take a look at the 42,200 on a higher time frame perspective, you guys can see that most likely every time the price action comes towards these zones, we are seeing a type of reaction, right? Now, whenever I mean a type of reaction, I'm looking for zones where price action has a high probabilities of having a reaction, either support or either an area of resistance. So for example, we have a very strong area of support right over here, which at one point we were using it as support, we broke under, we use it as resistance. Price action breaks back above and we're continue holding it as support as of right now. So if we take a look at the beginning of the month, we did use these zones as an area of support, which we obviously had a very strong bullish value towards the upside. Now, we did come into one of these zones over here, which is an area of supply, which is going to be set somewhere between, I would like to say, the 42,850, which as you guys can see that we did see multiple reaction towards these zones, right? Which at one point we did use it as a supply, which price action did end up rejecting off last week, which is exactly where we end up taking our sales position on yesterday and on Friday as well. So we had rejection towards this exact supply zone. We came a little bit higher, which is pretty much most likely liquidity grab, which price action comes back towards these supplies. But this is that price action they reject and maintain underneath these 4-hour supply zones over here, which is set at the 42,840. So 42,840, we did see that price rejected. Obviously, we did see the break of structure on the 4-hour time frame. We got the pullback. We did see that price action did end up using it as an area of resistance, which is initially where we end up taking our sell position yesterday, right? Now, what I want you guys to understand here is going to be these other 4-hour structure, which is going to be set at the 42. I have it marked up at the 42,890, we can say that it's also another area of support, which at one point, if you notice, if we take a look at these zones over here, we did see that price action did form these demands, right? We did see the push towards the upside. We did see the break between these exact areas of previous areas of resistance, right? So check this out. We have the rejection towards demand, the main demand zone. We break above all of these resistance. If you guys take a look at the left side, it is also another high probability area, which price action, every time it comes, we are seeing some type of, reaction. So at this point over here, it did use it as resistance. We did see some sells. We did see the price broke above, use it as support. Same thing over here, use it as support, broke under, use it as resistance, broke under, we're using it as resistance. And then once again, price action breaks above, and then we form an area of support, showing us that this area over here, every time the price action either breaks above or maintains underneath, there is a type of reaction, right? And the same exact thing happened on Thursday. Thursday, we got the push towards the downside. We did use these area of support. Again, these are very strong zones where price action was holding again in the past as area of support, which we did see some bullish volume, right? So once again, price action comes again. We did see the same exact rejection, another push towards the upside. Obviously, since we are broken under these structures over here, we are still looking for selling opportunities. So we did reject over here. Price action sold off. We broke above again. We did see a very strong push towards the upside yesterday, which price action fully tapped into the areas of interest. The reason why we end up taking some sales position. But notice again, once we got the push, rejected off these zones, we got another push towards the downside. But what do we come and retest? We retested this exact support level, which is at the 42,890. Notice how price action perfectly respected it and maintained itself above. Another thing that goes back, if we go into the 1 hour time frame, we job the Fibonacci level from this low from over here all the way to these highs over here. Notice how we perfectly come back, retest these golden zones, which is going to be set at the 0.618 and the 0.1 and the 0.5. Notice how price action perfectly respect these zones. We swept all of these entire lows over here, which price action just swept during the London session, and we finally got the break above the areas of interest, right? As you guys can see, we're clearly pushing towards the upside. Let me see, we're at 42,480. I'm about to hit take profit too. I'm up $230 with this trade. Beautiful setup. Look at this, $235, which is very nice. About to hit take profit too. But again, we got the rejection from the demand zone, which is the start to the week. So let me just drink this very quick. So one of the confirmations here is that we have again rejection from these major demand zones, right, which is set at the 4,200. We did see the push, we did see the break of structure right above these intraday structure, 42.90. We did get the pullback to 42.90. We did retest the support. We did retest the Fibonacci. We got the rejection between all of these zones, right? Price action maintained itself above. We go back into the 30-minute time frame. All I waited for was simply for that break and retest above these structures, right? Which is exactly what price action did early this New York session. We got the sweep out of all of these lows over here. Price action broke back above the structure. We got the pullback. We did see the price action maintain itself above during the New York session. What do we form here? We form a New York session highs, which is exactly where price action just simply broke and retest above, right? So we just simply enter our position. I do have my buy limit set at the 42,350 just in case if price action does, decides to pull back a little bit further. I do have another buy limit set over here, which is definitely going to be our second position if we do get the push. But again, this is from the New York session. We do get the perfect break, retest above these New York session highs, where obviously we did see the price action maintain itself above. Another break and retest above these setups over here, above these previous highs over here, which is exactly where I did enter off my first position at the 42,400. And as you guys can see, and as you guys can see, price action is just perfectly pushing towards the upside. We do have a very strong 15-minute candle closure, which is nice. 30 minutes, about to close in 13 minutes, is going to look very, very nice. Hopefully, we do get the initial push that we're looking for with US30. Overall, beautiful setup. I'm going to send this out right now in the free Telegram as well. I'm going to send them out the analysis, explaining to them if price action maintains itself above these zones. You guys are good to buy the market. You guys can target back here and then back above here. The price action breaks underneath, we're simply just react and adapt, and then we're going to be looking for selling opportunities, right? But notice how the sell position is just simply going along with the trend, respecting major demand zone, major supply zone, and just simply reacting from it. So that's exactly the trade that we took this morning with US30. Everything looks nice. I'm not gonna lie, so I'm gonna be holding this position. We're still up $200. I take profit too is where I'm gonna secure half of my position and then just go break even. But everything looks very nice. I do like the setup overall. Bigger picture looks very, very clean. Hopefully we do get that push that we want. So I'm gonna send this out right now. I'm gonna be looking at gold too. Gold, I don't think there's nothing very interesting going on just yet. Yeah, still nothing going on. But if we take a look at gold from a higher time frame perspective, right? What I do want you guys to notice on the weekly time frame is these weekly, I've been looking studying gold very strong the past weeks, right? You guys can see all of these notes that I have here with gold. This is pretty much what I did early the month of June. I did notice this weekly structures over here, which was price action stuck in this weekly ranges, right? Which is, we've been pretty much stuck for the past weeks, right? It wasn't until last week that we actually had a break above these ranges over here, right? So notice how every time price action comes between these areas of resistance, there is a type of rejection, right? So notice how price action was stuck in the range. Wasn't until last week we actually got the break. And if you guys take a look at the break, we actually broke above these daily 4-hour structure, which is going to be our initial areas of interest, which is set at the 33.83, right? Which is simply the break and retest, right? Notice how the trend runs when price action came back all the way down over here, which is, this was the beginning of the, I would say, beginning of May. We did see a push towards these exact highs over here, which price action broke at one point. We did use it as an area of support. This is exactly where price action did end up picking up its bullish volume to push the market all the way back up, right? Again, we started shifting structure, respecting all of these highs. Price action just comes back, breaks it, comes back, retests it, use it as areas of support, which buyer and opportunities are setting up itself, right? Again, price action breaks above these highs, and we're using it as area of support, and then price action just continued pushing itself up and up, right? And again, we're just simply following the pattern. As you guys can see, we did end up breaking above these highs, which price action is currently retesting it at the moment. Yesterday, we ended up taking some buy position over here, which did end up playing out for a 1 to 2.9 risk to reward. But as of right now, notice how price action is. It's pretty shit, right? It's just trading in the middle. There's no very clear price action. So at this point over here, what I'm going to be pretty much waiting for with you, with gold, is either one, we sweep out of all of these exact lows. We're exactly the same setup that happened during the early, London, I'd say the late London session, early New York session, which is pretty much sweeping all of these lows over here and giving us a proper bullish confirmation. As long as price action can actually maintain itself above these daily lows over here and gives me, a proper bullish entry confirmation, then I'll most likely be entering some buy position and then targeting back towards these broken structure from the intraday time frame, which is set somewhere between the 34.15, 34 or 34.20. And then around these zones over here, obviously we're looking for some selling opportunity. This is going to be our sell zones. Still hasn't formed 100%, but definitely going to be our sell zone, especially after price action rejecting off these daily highs over here. So we did see some very strong bearish action towards these zones over here early of the start of this week. They've had this 1 hour or this intraday break of broken structure, which price action yet hasn't pretty much pulled back towards to retest these zones, right? So as long as price action can maintain itself above these daily lows over here, I will be looking for buys back above here. These are definitely our sell zones. So obviously if we do see those rejection and we do see that price action maintain itself under, I'm looking for sells. Or let's say that today price action just break under these daily lows, we simply just react and adapt when we give, sell an opportunity. But as of right now, price action is not doing anything, so I'm not going to be taking any trades as of right now with gold. But definitely with US30, we are getting the push that we want. Hopefully we do end up hitting every single take profit today. So look at this, 4 hour looks very nice. Let's see if we hit TP2. Let's see. Well, we're 42.90. We're 10 points away. I'm up 270 points, so we're 10 points away from take profit 2. Beautiful start, beautiful start. So let me call this out very quick to the Telegram. All right, so this is what we have. So US30 trade idea. So at the start of the week, price had a strong bounce from a demand zone around 4,200, where buyers stepped in and pushed price higher, right? Which is going to be right over here, 42,200. And then we also have that price then broke back above the 42,300, which was a key support level, which price had a few reaction in the past, right? So broke back above these support levels over here, which we did see some previous price reaction in the past, right? So again, support, price breaks under, use it as resistance. We do see sell off, price breaks back above, we do see support, just continue holding these zones, right? So then during the London and New York session, price pulled back, rejected off old lows. We rejected off these previous lows, and then we stayed back above, these areas of support, showing us that buyers are still in controls, right? So the idea is if price continue holding above 42,450, 42,500 with bullish sign, I'll look for buy opportunity towards the previous highs or higher. If price draws and breaks below 42,250, I will wait for a new bearish structure to form. So it's going to be the setup of today, the analysis. I'm going to send this out in the free Telegram, sending out every single zones that I'm going to be interested. So this is the analysis, same exact trade idea that we're going to be sending out in our VIP group. So send this out here. All right, so let me send the analysis now with gold. Gold still nothing. Well, as you guys can see, we're getting the push, hopefully we do, we're pretty much reacting off these London lows. So this is what I want to see. I want to see the sweep of previous London lows. So as long as price action, obviously we do sweep off these lows over here and we do maintain itself above, obviously back above these areas of interest, then that's where I'm going to be giving the buy the opportunity. But as of right now, there's nothing going on, nothing clean at all. So I'm just going to send this out very quick as well. As long as we maintain itself above these zones over here, I'm looking for buys. Or if price action, breaks underneath, then we're just simply reacting at that and we start looking for a new bearish structure and target any of these lows over here. So it's going to be for gold. I'm going to send this out quickly. All right, so I just sent out the analysis here with gold. So price is now back at this key H4 structure zone around 33.80, which was the previous area of resistance, right? So notice how we're retesting above these zones over here around the 33.80. So it's very, very similar setup to what we took yesterday, which is simply a bounce play from these zones, right? So obviously resistance turns into support, which is exactly where we end up taking buy position from yesterday. Now, earlier, this is what I told you guys. What I'm waiting for is for price action to pretty much sweep off all of these London lows and maintain itself above the 33.85. If price action does that, then we're most likely looking for buying opportunities, right? So what I did mark up these zones over here, which I was interested in taking buys. This is an area of demand zone, which is most likely price action just grabbing liquidity from, right? So we're sweeping off these lows over here, grabbing liquidity from this previous demand. So as long as price action does maintain above the 33.85, that's where I'm looking for the sells. Now, obviously, if we do close underneath these zones over here and we start seeing some bearish action forming, then that's where we're going to be giving sell and opportunities, right? So again, if price holds above 33.85, 33.90, I will give buy an opportunity. If price action closes underneath the 33.75, which is underneath these zones over here, then I'm giving sells and opportunities, right? So gold over here is just forming up. We're looking here at US30. We're pretty much coming back. We're back at entry, I believe so. Yeah, we're pretty much very near entry. We're just up 30 points as of right now, but we're just going to leave this trade play out for a few minutes. So everything looks clean overall. I do like this structure. Obviously, just let's see how price action just plays out. So, I mean, there's nothing else to do here. We probably price action just probably grabbing all of these from yesterday's sells. We just gotta clear out all of these traffic zones here. So everything looks clean overall. So we're just gonna leave this running. Our entry is at 43,400. 43,400, which is set right over here. Our stop loss is at 42,250. 250. Oh shit. 42,250. So I'm probably just going to be taking one trade here with US30 today. I do have a busy schedule to date, so I do want to get this over with very quick. Hopefully hit take profit 2 and just go break even. Gotta do a few shit right now. But let's just leave this trade over here play now. Coming back, retesting these zones. I've gotten a lot of questions asked, which is, when do you usually manage your trade if price action starts going against you, right? So what I like to do whenever I'm looking for these type of setups over here, and whenever price action is going against my idea, right, which is obviously going in a drawdown, my goal here is to obviously protect my capital, which should be the goal for everyone, right? Which is always protect your trading capitals, right? I know I understand what I am risking, right? So for example, in this trade over here, I am risking $400, right, to potentially make over 1,000 plus, right? Now, for me, the only area that this over here was telling me, hey, price action is no longer going to be bullish. This is where I'm going to be cutting off my losses and just trading my stop loss, right? The only zone that I'll be interested in cutting off my losses will be if price action starts trading underneath the 42,300. If we're trading underneath these zones over here, then this is exactly where I'm going to be cutting off my losses early. Now, if price action just rejects off these zones or having the bounce, there's no point for us to cut the losses. We just simply just let the market do its thing. So as of right now, there's no point to cut our losses or to close out this trade early. Everything looks clean. Everything is doing exactly what I do want, and we do have a nice 30-minute closure. We're just coming back to retest all of these broken structures. So again, as long as we trade above these zones over here, I'm going to be giving, the buying opportunity over and over again. So everything looks clean. We do have rejection of the VWAP. We do have clean market structure. Everything looks proper. We're just going to let this trade do its thing. I do understand that we did come back towards these zones where we did see, type of seller opportunity. But overall, I still think that we can continue pushing higher. Let's see. Hopefully, we just did not grab liquidity from these zones here, and then price action starts reversing. Let's see. Damn, We have almost 40 minutes here in this setups. We already sent out the analysis. Look at gold. Nothing going on. We're just going to let this do its thing. Gold, still nothing, still nothing. I do want to see that sweep off those London lows and just maintain above. So we're just going to be waiting for an entry confirmation between here. Let's see. I would like to wait probably. This would be aggressive entry, I'm not going to lie. But we're just going to hold it for now. I do like that 15-minute candle closure, sweep off these demand, which is just liquidity grab. But I do want it to maintain above these zones here. Because again, it's just like we're playing basically with our money here, because the idea, obviously, whenever we are looking for buys, the goal is to always be above support, right? Never be underneath. We are rejecting off these demand zone over here, which is liquidity grab, which is a good confirmation. But the only thing that turns me off is that we're still trading underneath these 4-hour structure, which is very aggressive for us to enter, especially off these early New York session sells. But it can be a good entry. It can be a good entry sometimes, but let's see. So far, we are forming that bullish action. We're just going to be waiting for a proper confirmation, right? So we do have these breaking structure. Just going to be waiting for entry anytime soon. We do have a nice 5-minute closure. We do have a very nice 15-minute candle closure. 30 minutes looking very, very nice. So I'm probably just going to wait for this 30 minutes, which closes in 10 minutes. Patient is key. Let's see. We're sweeping off these. We're currently trading above these London lows here. So let's see. This one looks interesting. We might be getting entry very soon. Very, very soon. So if I do enter the market, I probably will enter, let's say we enter here. Our stop loss is going to be somewhere set over here, and then our take profit level all the way back here, which will be a solid 1 to 3 risk to reward. Yeah, definitely looking for this play. Probably a little bit lower. Should it be? Nah, I think right there it should be fine. But definitely this is going to be the play. Let's see. We do have that nice 5-minute closure. Oh shit, I think this might be ready, I'm not going to lie. Might be. Okay. Let's see. Let's just wait. It's fine. I do probably want to give these buys an opportunity. Damn. This is just the only thing that turns me off, though. We're still trading underneath here. Let's see. Probably going to give the entry 33.79, 33.80. Or let's see. But that does look clean. Exactly what I wanted it to play out with. So we're now trading. We did sweep this off. Yeah, I think it should be entering here. Oh shit! This is flying off. Now I get the entry that I wanted. Let's see. We do have everything that I just wanted to say. But let's see, we're back again at these structures. So let's see how it reacts at 33.80. I would say above it would be better. So here will be the game plan. So we do have to sweep off this demand. We do sweep off these London lows over here. So the game plan for me today will be, okay, if we maintain above 33.78, 33.80, or above 33.85, then that's where I'm going to give myself an entry. But let's see how it reacts here first. This looks clean. US30 moving pretty slow. Come on, let's see that push. Now it's 100, similar. You know what? I think what I'm gonna do right now, I think I'm gonna just go for the run so I can get that over with, and then I come back and then we just finish off with the trading day. But this was very clean. Damn, I wish I did get the entry here. Fuck, that was very simple. Just liquidity sweep, liquidity grab. We have the breaking structure above these London lows. I mean, this looks clean as fuck. You guys can't agree with this one. We're just gonna wait for our entry now. Come on. But then sometimes, wow, look at that 30. That's insane. 30 flipped completely. If I do give these entry, it might be... Okay, you know what? We're going to go in right now. We're going to have two entries. So we're going to set an entry at 33.84. Alright, so no risk. Bye. Alright, so we're having the push. Holy shit. So we're at TP1 already. There we go. We're about to hit TP2 right now. 33.87 is at TP2. Wow, this was beautiful. So we will have our entry at 33.83. Our stop loss is placed right over here underneath these lows. And then we're just going to target our 1 to 3 risk to reward. So our lows is underneath these 15 minutes lows. Our take profit is going to be set right above these highs, which is going to be a 1 to 3 risk to reward. All right. So we just enter off this trade. Let's see. US30 retesting still these zones. We're having the bullish reaction. That's fine. Gold here, it looks clean. We're just gonna let this do its thing. So let's see. 87 is gonna be take profit too. So let me just set up the alarm. Alright, so I'll be right back. Let me go check out the laundry real quick. Alright, so we're back. So we're still at TP1 with gold, but check this out. We have a very nice 15-minute candle closures. Just look at this, right? So we have the sweep, the liquidity grab of these demand zone over here. We do have a nice 15-minute candle closure rejection from the previous candle. We do have a nice 15-minute candle or bullish engulfing candle closure right after the rejection of these demand zone over here, grabbing liquidity, the sweep of these London lows, and we're still trading above the areas of interest, which is 33.80, right? So this looks very, very nice. We do have a very solid 30-minute candle closure as well. We do have our stop loss placed very nice. We're just going to let this trade do its thing. Again, trading is just a game of probability. Just manage your risk perfectly and just understand what you guys are looking for. US30 as well, we're just ranging above these areas of interest. We're still in profit. We're up 30 points with US30. Obviously, we just need that initial push that we are looking for. But everything looks clean overall. We're just going to let these setup play out and do its thing. So I will be back. I'm gonna go run very quick. So I'll be back probably like in an hour or less. And then I'll just give you guys the walkthrough exactly if we did end up hitting take profits or if we end up hitting stop loss. So I'll see you guys in a few. All right, cool. So we're back. I'm going to give you guys the market recap of the setups that we end up taking today. So starting off first with the US30 position that we had open from this morning. So we end up hitting take profit 2 for 100 points with our first position. We did end up moving our stop loss to break even, right? Now, right after price action coming back to the same exact zone where we took our buy position from this morning, we had the same exact reaction, right? Which was a bullish reaction. You know, we did see that price action was maintaining itself above these areas of interest, which was the idea, right? Now, all I waited for to add my second position was waiting for price action to break and retest above these current highs over here, which is set somewhere between the 42,460 zone. Notice how we respected this exact zone where we did see the bounce from this morning. We respected it. We got the bounce above these zones. I waited for price action to pull back and retest, which is exactly what price action did. So pretty much when we came back towards these lows, we retested. We did see that price action maintain itself above. I did place a buy stop above these highs over here, which was set around the 42.70, 42.470. If you guys can see in TradingView, it is completely different from my broker, but 42.470 was placed above these highs over here, and that's exactly where I did activate my trade. Did end up going to take profit 1, but usually with US30 we always go break even. I take profit 3, but price action failed to continue pushing higher, so end up taking us out of stop loss in our second position, end up taking us out of break even. So for the day with US30, I did have a minor loss. Let me show you guys exactly what I did end up closing out with US30 for the day, because yesterday we did also have a win, which is going to be counted. For the day, I'm up with US30 currently at $840. So the first position that we had running, I did end up closing out $100, some of the position, and then we got stopped at a break even. Second trade, I did end up losing $200. So technically, I'm down $100 with these position from this morning. But from the trade from yesterday, I didn't make a very nice return, which was over $990. So I'm still up $800 technically for the day with US30. But for this New York session, since I did take this break even and I did take this loss, I'm currently down $100 for the day, which is most likely break even, right? But overall, I did like this setup. I did like exactly what I was looking for. Again, trading is just a game of probabilities. Just look at levels where price action has a high quality of having reaction from, and then you simply just react with it, right? As you guys can see, we follow every single rules. We got a good entry. We did play it out for 100 points, but obviously price action just failed to continue pushing higher. Now, moving into gold, which gold was the game of the day. So the position that we had open this morning right after price session swept out of these London lows, grabbed liquidity from these demand zones over here, maintenance of above. You guys saw the execution and everything. We failed to push higher. We did end up hitting take profit 2 for 40 pips, but usually our rules is to always go break even at a take profit 3, which is always going to give us a 1-to-1 risk to reward, right? With trading, the goal here is to always focus on the percentage, the risk to reward, never focus on the money, right? So we never obviously get emotion or attached to the money whenever we're high from a very nice trade. We always go break even at a 1-to-1 risk to reward, which our first position with gold, it failed to give us a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Price action reverses, taking us out at stop loss, right? Now, I did manage to re-enter a second position, which as you guys can see is running very, very nice. We're currently up over a 1-to-1.7, almost at a 1-to-2. We're at a 1-to-2 risk to reward over 140 pips, which is amazing. But this setup over here was very, very simple. We get another pullback towards these London lows, which was our areas of interest. Now, yes, this is a very aggressive entry due to the fact that we're still trading underneath these H4 structure, which if we go into a higher time frame, whatever we're trading under, we're still trading under these areas of resistance, which makes it very, very aggressive, right? Now, the reason why I did like this setup over here, how it played out, and why I didn't execute this trade was very simple. We get a pullback towards these London lows, which is set right over here at the 33, we say 33.77. Right, if we grab a Fibonacci level from these lows over here all the way to these highs, notice how it perfectly aligns with the golden zones. So grab it from this point to this point over here, notice how it perfectly aligns with the golden zones, which price action had a reaction from. We have a minor demand zone, which is set over here at the 33.74 on a lower time frame, which price action had a reaction from. Pull back towards these golden zone, which is 0.618, we rejected it. On the 1 minute time frame, there is a 1 minute time frame fair value gap, which is set right over here, which all I waited for was for price action to break above, pull back, retest, and maintenance of above with a bullish candle closure, which is exactly what price action did. So simply, we just got the pullback, retest the golden zone, retest the demand zones over here, which price action had a reaction from. Fair value gap, we broke above, we got the pullback, price action, maintenance of above. All I waited for was for a bullish candle closure, which is exactly where I enter the market. Place my stop loss underneath these lows over here, and then obviously the take profit continues being the same exact zone, which is set at the 34.20. For this setup over here, if it does plays out very nice, we're looking almost at a 1-to-6 risk to reward. As of right now, playing out very, very nice. We actually broke above these areas of interest over here, so I'm simply waiting for another pullback towards these zones. If it maintains above, I will definitely be adding another position, but this will most likely be during the aging session. But overall, really love this setup over here. This was a very nice quality setup. I did like the first entry as well, but again, trading is just a game of probability. You just simply react and adapt with the market. So second position is playing out very, very nice. We're just gonna let this thing do, we're just gonna let the trade do its thing. My bad, my English is off today, guys. So with this US30, with this gold current position, I'm up $400, which is very, very nice. We're going to continue holding our stop losses placed at break even. So what I'm going to be anticipating, obviously, if we start breaking above these highs and trading above it, I'm going to be trading my stop loss into obviously take profit 2, which is at a 1-to-1 risk to reward, and just continue trading it and maybe adding more precision if obviously this bullish volume continues. But overall, this trade did play out very, very nice. You guys saw the execution. You guys saw everything that I was looking for this morning. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to call it a day. It is 2 o'clock already, so I'm just going to go obviously just enjoy the day. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube so you guys can obviously see the execution. This is going to be a type of videos that I'm going to be doing every single day, so you guys can pretty much live trade with me and understand exactly the setup that I'm taking. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.